Imagine waking up to a world where, overnight, Earth's magnetic field has completely reversed direction. North is now south, and compasses everywhere swing wildly before settling on their new reality. Air traffic controllers scramble as navigation systems falter, while migratory birds, sea turtles, and whales are thrown into confusion, their internal compasses suddenly useless. Power grids flicker as sudden geomagnetic turbulence disrupts electronics. Satellites struggle to recalibrate, and auroras erupt in unexpected places, glowing over cities like Cairo and Rio de Janeiro. Scientists race to understand the new magnetic landscape, but for billions, the most immediate sensation is one of disorientation, both literal and psychological, as humanity faces an invisible yet fundamental shift in the planet's machinery. As the days pass, the consequences of the magnetic reversal ripple outward. Navigation, once taken for granted, becomes a daily challenge. Planes must rely solely on GPS until systems are recalibrated, while ships at sea drift off course, sparking a brief but frantic wave of maritime mishaps. The magnetic confusion also affects animals. Flocks of birds veer off migration routes, bewildered dolphins strand themselves on unfamiliar shores, and beekeepers report hives in chaos. Meanwhile, the weakened and chaotic magnetic field allows more cosmic radiation to reach Earth, triggering widespread auroras but also increasing radiation exposure, especially at high altitudes. Hospitals see a spike in reports of dizziness and nausea, possibly linked to subtle shifts in the electromagnetic environment. Scientists, now celebrities, explain on news broadcasts that this is not the end of the world, but it is the beginning of a new chapter in planetary history. Months after the flip, society adapts with remarkable speed. Engineers redesign navigation systems to align with the new magnetic poles, and updated maps are printed and distributed worldwide. Smartphones and vehicles receive firmware updates to correct compass readings. In schools, a new generation learns that north is now south, and old globes become collector's items. Satellite manufacturers scramble to shield electronics from increased solar radiation, and airlines adjust flight paths to minimize exposure. The energy sector faces a new threat as geomagnetic storms, now more common, induce currents that threaten to overload power grids. To counter this, new infrastructure is built: transformers with better shielding, backup systems for communication satellites, and global networks to monitor the ever-changing magnetosphere. Humanity, as always, finds ways to innovate, but the lesson is clear. Earth is not as unchanging as it once seemed. Nature, too, begins to adapt, though not without struggle. Over several generations, species that depend on Earth's magnetic field for navigation develop new strategies. Some birds evolve to rely more on the sun and stars, while others perish, unable to adjust. Bees gradually reorient their hives, and sea turtles experiment with new nesting grounds. Scientists observe rapid evolutionary changes. Genes associated with magnetic sensing become more diverse, and entirely new behaviors emerge. Meanwhile, increased radiation subtly shifts mutation rates, accelerating both risk and opportunity for life. Forests in northern latitudes show signs of stress, but some plant species thrive in the altered environment. The planet enters a period of ecological experimentation, a living laboratory illustrating both the resilience and fragility of life in the face of sudden planetary change. Decades turn into centuries, and the story of the great magnetic reversal becomes legend. Cultures adapt their myths and calendars to the night skies, now painted with auroras in places where none existed before. New spiritual traditions arise around the dancing lights, and ancient stories are reinterpreted in the glow of this new reality. Technologically, humanity thrives, energy grids are hardened, radiation-resistant crops are engineered, and space exploration accelerates as Earth's changing magnetosphere inspires new research into planetary protection. The magnetic poles, now firmly in their new places, serve as reminders of the planet's dynamic nature. Humanity, having weathered the storm, emerges more adaptable, more curious, and more united by the shared memory of the night the world turned upside down.